Hello, everybody. Today I'm introducing the sprint for the open sprint for building boss gateways. And if y'all don't know what a sprint is a concept in this agile scrum methodology, framework, or project management that's very iterative, that's very fast. 90% of software companies use this to ship software. This is opposed to something like a waterfall development where you just like plan everything out and then ship for like a year or two. This is meant for very rapid development. And since we're in the blockchain and the Web3 space and we have a bunch of different stakeholders, and we don't necessarily know like where this product is going, this is, in my opinion, the best approach. But traditionally in the sprint, and you're going to see how we're kind of having a very, very, very watered down version to initially gather all the devs, gather all the troops. There's usually a backlog grooming session at the beginning. You can pretend like what I'm introducing right now is that backlog grooming session where we're defining what is being done for the 1 to 4 week sprint. In this case, it's 2 weeks, April 17th to 23rd, apply by April 14th by responding to this post. Then we have these daily scrum sessions where or it's called a daily stand up, where we can literally stand up and give a 30-second, 1 minute synopsis from everyone in their team on what they've been doing, any blockers, yada yada. Very quick, can do it while you're standing up. That's why it's called a stand up. Here, we're going to directly communicate on Telegram. There's a few Telegram channels. For this one, we're going to nearbuilders.com/tg.boss. This goes to the boss Telegram. Here, if you're participating in this sprint, put your daily update here and we'll coordinate like this on, and that'll be your cadence. So yeah, normally or in the future, I want to see this whole sprint development cycles actually facilitated on a widget on Boss and it completely to be on chain. But for now, we're hacking it together. And then at the end of usual sprints, there is a review where we go over. It's kind of like a demo day for what you've been working on for the 2 weeks, and then a retrospective where we're reflecting on how to improve this process here. And so this is yet to be planned. Once everyone submits their solution, we can schedule something. It may be difficult because there are people all around the world building the open web, but would love to have a review, or even if we record little YouTube videos like this and make a playlist and then have it, sync but also record it for people who are joining async. That could also be a solution for this hack together version of a sprint. So yeah, that's what a sprint is. And this open sprint, shout out to hack.near, which originally put this for Boss development cycles. Again, everyone is building on Boss. We don't necessarily know who's building what, and unless we're actually checking the last widgets. And I'm going to show you to better see who's actually building widgets on chain in a separate video. But this was originally, as the first development cycle, the first sprint was done for common components, reusing front-end components and developing these component libraries. So shout out to Hacked.near for that. And then just to mention, there's been more sprints that's been coming together. Shout out to Luis from Mintbase, Devrel at Mintbase. Right now, he is coordinating an NFT widget sprint. Yeah, so that you can see the builders here. And then there is also a multi.near who's building this multi-DAO widget. It's an amazing widget that's porting functionality from the Sputnik contracts directly on Near Social, on the boss. Like basically put out this DAO sprint planning. And I know a borderless community and an NFT community, borderless NFT community popping up is also about to put out an open sprint as well. So in the future, we would love, and this may be an RFP that gets funded, for a way to coordinate these sprints, for a way to track on what's going, for a way to put these sprints and these retrospectives and these scrums, these updates directly on the boss. But for now, we're doing this very hacked together way. And so going off to the specifics of this particular sprint. And so the reason why I wanted to do this is, okay, we have all these widgets, but it's not decentralized front ends unless the gateways, the people who are running these front ends, and I made a video on this earlier this week, are decentralized and that they have different user flows and also different chains that are supported. So the objective is to proliferate these gateways for this sprint. And some key results, or some OKRs, are the proliferation of gateways with dedicated teams with go-to-market strategies so we know that people are maintaining these gateways, documentation and tutorials associated with the deployment, the customization, and the maintenance of these gateways. So we have these resources for teams to build this out. And then also the number of dApps in the near ecosystem, which are like transitioning from just building a traditional like React app into a gateway or a dApp where all the functionality is widgets. And then also the creation of widgets for different gateway verticals or different like for example, there might be an NFT gateway and you need a bunch of NFT widgets so that gateway is robust and it gives that a similar experience to the dApp alternative. And also changing to the existing gateway VMs or forks of the social VM to support different chains and different dependencies as well. So we're not limited as to what we can do in our widgets. So I highlighted some current projects that are working on gateways, and this may change. The actual deadline for this, like I mentioned, is around 2 weeks from now. And the way you do that is you reply. This is on the developer DAO, the developer governance gigs board. You reply with the hashtag sprint2 gateway boss with what exactly you want to build, anything about your team that's relevant, your front end experience, your development experience, your experience in a particular vertical, a little bit about what you need to make this happen, maybe any resources that are lacking that you need from us. So if you're building a Solana gateway, you might say, hey, I need to build with Solana JS. I need my own RPC provider like QuickNode added to the VM. I need to add Solana wallet adapter. If you're building like maybe like a Unity specific or like a WebGL specific gateway, you need to add that dependency and so on. And so, yeah, I highlighted some current projects building. And so examples are Cantopia. It's like a Canto blockchain, a Canto swap gateway, Boss GG, which is the OG proximity Ethereum EVM gateway. The people at Minority Programmers are building out a gateway for GenDrop with different NFT verticals. I'm hoping Mintbase can do the same as well. Everything.dev, Zahid from the Banyan team is building a developer-specific gateway. And so some key challenges, again, like not only are we very early on for these sprints, we're very early on for the proliferation of gateways. So customizing the VM, there's very limited documentation on that. So as part of this, we're going to be developing docs as part of the sprint. And then another thing is finding these key teams and then having go-to-market strategies. So right now we're just experimenting with building gateways, but understanding teams that can very align with the mission of the boss and then coordinate with the development life cycle of the boss and build a product that has a relevant go-to-market strategy is also a hurdle at this early on stage. And also building the underlying widgets and then incentivizing teams to rebuild their front end where they may have React and there's not like a direct core like it's very similar, but it's not a direct porting over. So I understand these limitations. These are things that we're going to be working around. And so as part of this sprint, some things that we'd like to ship out. And again, this is open to feedback. This is an open development lifecycle. It doesn't start until 2 weeks. Is a gateway deployment factory where you can actually choose your branches or what repos and what gateways that you want to fork and deploy. Kind of like this widget made by Luis from Mintbase, where you can just click the deploy button. Let me see where it's at right here. You can just click the deploy button. Imagine if you can have a deploy button for whichever branch, for whichever gateway you want, where you can just like fork a gateway very easily. So a little MVP for this version at the end of the sprint. And then some documentation like customizing the VM and customizing the UX. For example, like you can customize the nav bar, you can customize the style components, a little bit instructions on how to do that. And so right now, gateways that are being built, like I was saying, with Zahiz, and then I want a Solana specific gateway and a Sui specific gateway and a Cosmos specific gateway. I think Leap Wallet's a pretty good team. They're building a dashboard on Near. They built a dashboard on Near. They're also building a wallet on Near, but they originally came from the Cosmos ecosystem. So I think they have good product market fit for a Cosmos gateway. A Sui specific gateway would be pretty awesome because it takes a lot of dependencies to develop on Sui, and it's a very vibrant developer community I want to bring on to the Near ecosystem. And also it's a Solana specific gateway as well. And there's a bunch of teams that have an overlap between Near and Solana. So if this is relevant to you or you're interested in this, just reply here or DM me on Telegram. And so, yeah, I have a little bit idea on the scope of work. But yeah, that's pretty much that. Please reply by Friday, April 14th. And yeah, just some notes on like the progress of the conversations that we're having. I'm talking to Josh about the more documentation around the VMs and trying to coordinate with Pagoda DevRel, also talking to different wallet teams about deploying their chain specific gateways for chains they already support for their wallets, and also talking to different near dApps about porting their functionality into a gateway and then crowdsourcing widget development. I'm also talking with NDC and Marketing DAO around spinning out their own gateways centered around widgets for their own processes. So yeah, this is very early. I'm very happy to be part of this open development lifecycle. Some ideas of future sprints also could be on like dev tooling for Boss. It could be on NEPs. It could be on specific projects like or specific verticals like we saw for NFTs and DAOs. One might be for data. One might be for onboarding. Yeah, the possibilities are endless. And again, there may be an RFP to like coordinate this on the Boss. So yep, I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys are having to build. I'm looking forward for you guys joining Telegram and yeah. So till next time, everybody.